Teacher Courtney here, and welcome to my VIPKID classroom. I decided to go ahead and make a video about VIPKID because I have a lot of teacher friends who have shown interest, and a lot of my friends from my school counseling days have reached out to me, and so I decided just to make a video to try to make it easier. I will give you as much information as I can without making it too long and drawn out. But remember, I am still a newbie. I have only been with VIPKID for 10 days. I have only taught 10 students. But in those 10 days, I have learned a lot. And I will tell you, just starting off, if you look at VIPKID and you look at the videos, you might think, and this is putting it, just being very honest, this is my thought was, man, that looks pretty corny. Like, I don't know if I can be that silly. Obviously, I can be that silly. If you think you're too reserved and you're too serious, you can let loose when you see a little 5-year-old on the other end who wants to learn another language. Think about it now. Some of them do not know any English, not one word. So all they are going off of is your body language and your expressions. I am happy. And things like that. That's all they're seeing, and you're having to communicate and teach them through the wonderful world of internet. And so VIPKID is very big on TPR, total physical response. It's just being animated, using movement and knowing how to act out vocabulary words and things like that. I was a little worried about that, but they have workshops. There's a lot of resources out there to learn about TPR. Another thing that VIPKID uses is synthetic phonics. I'm a school counselor. I had never taught phonics in my life. I taught emotions and anti-bullying classes and do you want to go to college and things like that. So I studied the synthetic phonics video quite a bit, and I still refer back to it often just as a refresher. But for instance, big P, P, P. P does not make a p sound. It's there's enough of a difference there. M, for example, does not say make a m sound. It's You rub your belly. And I know you can't really see that well yet, but I'm rubbing my belly. So that's very important to, if you apply to study this synthetic phonics video. The interview process. You have to have a bachelor's degree, and you can have it in anything. And from what I understand, they really want you to have years of teaching experience. I was told that VIPKID only accepts 6 to 10%, only hire 6 to 10% of their applicants. I don't know how true that number is, but it is something to be aware of, because if you apply, hopefully that will give you motivation to prepare. I did not get through on the first round, and I will go into that. The interview process. So the first one is an interview. They ask you questions about your background, and you have kind of a standard lesson, PowerPoints that you teach to them. And they just want to see that you've done some of your research, looked at the synthetic phonics videos, looked at TPR and things like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. They're not expecting perfection. Wear orange. That shows them that you did your research. That is basically the company color. And so if you're wearing orange, they will know that you did your research. All you women out there, red lipstick. It helps them to focus on your mouth movements. So I am not a lipstick wearer, but I'm slowly becoming one. And so I was told to wear red lipstick, and I have noticed on the videos in my classes on playback, it does help to enhance my mouth, and so they can follow and watch my lip movements and things like that. If you get through the interview process, during that first one, at the end of it, they will discuss payment and make you an offer, basically. I'm not going to go into all of that. There's incentives and things like that for different types of classes. I'm not going to tell you how much I make. I'm not going to go there. But you can look it up. But in that very first interview, if you get approved to move on, then they will talk about pay scale and things like that. Mock 1. Mock 1 is basically your interview with a mentor teacher, somebody who's been with VIPKID for a while, and you will teach, they will send you a PowerPoint, 2 PowerPoints, and you will teach a lower level lesson and then an upper level lesson. I cannot for the life of me remember what I taught, but you will do 15 minutes with the lower level, and then they will break it up and stop you and give you feedback, and then you'll move on to the upper level. Whatever they tell you during that feedback, make sure you apply it to that second half of your interview. They want to see that you're listening to them and you're taking what they say seriously. So that's very, very important. If you go through to Mock 2, oh, I should add this. Some people rock their Mock 1 and they don't have to do a Mock 2. They are hired, they're good to go, and they can just start teaching both levels, and that's fantastic. Then there's people like me, who I get quite nervous, and I tend to stutter, and I develop a lisp, and I blank out. It can be a hot mess. So anyway, so Mock 2. I was approved for a lower level, which I was excited about because that's where I felt the most comfortable. So at this moment, I cannot teach the upper level. I'm okay with that. And after 100 classes taught, I think I can get certified to teach the upper level. But I'm fine with the lower level. There's plenty there. Anyways, my Mock 2, I actually did not pass it. And I got really nervous. And I just could not recover. I couldn't do it. And so I was devastated. I had tried to prepare the best I could. I had all my props and, you know, was using my TPR and all this stuff. And I just got flustered on a couple of slides and it was downhill from there. I was really upset. And then a few days later, I got an email saying I was only a couple points short and they would like to give me a second chance. Yay! Obviously, I passed it because I'm a teacher. But I took that feedback that was given to me in that first failed Mock 2 class and used it in practice. Timing is a big deal on your slides. And here was the trick I used because timing really worried me. It's kind of a rule of thumb that you have a minute per slide. Okay, I know that can sound intimidating. What I did was I had a slide and I had my Mock 2 slides and I timed myself per slide and wrote down how long it took me to teach it, wrote it on the slide, and I went through all of them. And there was like 25, 26, something like that. And then I added up my time. So some slides take a little bit more than a minute and some take a little bit less. That helped me gauge which slides I could kind of cut back on and which ones would take more time. So during my mock, I kind of knew, I had an idea when I would get to a slide. This one takes about a minute, 10 seconds. This one takes about 42 seconds. And it helped me to get my pacing right. And so I ended right at like 24 minutes and something seconds. I can't even remember, but I made it and I was really, really excited. So it seems tedious, but it does help with your pacing. And then you learn as you teach, to be honest. So after that, if you get hired and you get your email, you have to submit, you know, your bank information, a background, sign off on a background check. I had to take pictures of my diplomas, or if you can scan in your transcripts, things like that. You have to submit a 15-second video, just introductory video of, hi, my name is Teacher Courtney, and that's what parents see. You also have to submit one professional photo. It does not have to be in a studio or anything like that. Nothing fancy, not to pay for it. I just updated mine earlier today, and I took it in front of my wall. And a little editing done in there. Thank you, Photoshop, and good to go. Then you add 3 casual pictures. They want to see your life. They want to see their teacher being casual and having fun. Chinese culture is very big on family, so it was recommended to include pictures of family if you could. So my pictures are with my kids. So I try to include my, I have one with my husband, I believe. I had to include my husband, right? So there's that. So then you're ready to start teaching. Yes, the hours are a little crazy. You can make your schedule, tailor it to whatever, as many hours as you want, as less as you want. It is an adjustment. I will say the majority, or there's a good chunk of VIPKid teachers who work in brick and mortar schools. So a lot of them teach 1 or 2 hours before they go to their full-time job, and it's a supplementary income. And for me, this is, I'm not working full-time by any means, but I have a little bit more flexibility. And you can look and see their peak hours. There's peak hours and peak hours. When you, with scheduling, most likely, basically you're most likely to be scheduled during those hours. So I've been teaching from like 6:30 in the morning until 7:30. I'm sorry, 6 in the morning till 7:30, because I'm building up my stamina, to be honest, and then I'll keep adding in. I wanted to start off slow to give myself time to get used to everything. So I'm not putting a whole bunch of hours on my plate yet. And then over for weekends, the peak hours are totally different. I'm a night owl. I'm a known insomniac. And so I'm like, hey, I'm up at 1, 2 a.m. anyways. Might as well teach. Not a big deal for me. So those are some peak hours there. I talked about, speak slow. Remember, you were talking to somebody who most likely knows little to no English. So don't talk as fast as I'm talking right now in this video. Don't do it. Props. They want to see props. I will show you one of my favorites that I use. I love these cards because they don't have pictures on the front. For instance, B. On a lot of the slides, the picture of a banana goes with the letter B. Banana. Banana. This is a bear. Can you imagine how confusing that would be for a child? That's not a banana. That's a bear. So I found these on Amazon for a very good price, and there are no pictures. So these are the ones I like the most. My little letter, or my numbers on a stick. I was using these the other day. They want you to have reward systems. This is one of my favorites. A kid was fist pumping every time he got a coin. He did a great job. You get a coin. I don't usually talk like that. And that sounds like a salesperson. But anyway, I have my microphone that lights up. It's kind of hard to see. For when we sing our hello and goodbye songs. Have them get out their microphone too. All kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just, you can have so much fun with it. Have so much fun with it. I have my puppet. I will introduce you to Simon. He's good for conversation. Hello. How are you? Hello. I am by no means a ventriloquist, but the kids love it. That's how they learn. They learn through play and being silly, and you have to remember that is, kids are visual and they want to have fun, and that's how they're going to learn. I'm trying to think. Oh, I get asked if I put on makeup all the time before my classes. I do, because I look very washed out on camera. And so personally for me, I feel better if I have makeup on. I want to show them that I took the time to get ready for them, and I don't want to look exhausted. So, and I would look washed out and ugh. So yes, I do my makeup. Oh, you can also get them stars on the screen, and they can redeem them for prizes. So I have my wand. You get a star. They like high fives. Fun stuff like that. It's a really fun job. I know I kind of went really fast, well, 15 minutes fast, whatever. But if you have any more questions, feel free to ask me, and I'd be happy to help. But I really enjoyed it so far. Like I said, I'm only 10 days in. I love it. I feel like it's going to be a great addition, you know, very helpful for my family. Financially, I finally get to contribute. So my kids don't have to go to daycare, and anybody with kids knows how expensive daycare is. So, okay, on that note, I will say goodbye.
I'm back. I forgot to mention something very important. If you decide to apply and go through the interview process with VIPKID, lighting is so important. It was actually mentioned in one of my, I think it was my mock 1. The lighting was causing a shadow on the side of my face that I had a hard time seeing on the little screen, but my mentor teacher mentioned it to me. So I have quite a bit of lighting in my office or in my classroom. I have the above lights that came with the house. I have this desk lamp. I don't even know if I can show it to you. Can you see it? Ah, there it is. And it's a touch lamp, so it has a whole bunch of different, if you can see it, switching the brightness of it. And then that wasn't enough because I was still having a shadow. So this was recommended to me, and I will take it off and show you. This little guy. Very cheap on Amazon. There. It's a Selfie Light. Sorry if I just blinded you. Very cheap. I have it plugged into my computer pretty much all the time because it does run out of batteries pretty quickly, and the first time I used it, it ran out at the very end of one of my lessons, and so I couldn't use it for the follow-up class. So it has 3 settings as well. It just keeps getting brighter, and I put it on the brightest one. So, and then I just clip it on, and voila! It has helped my lighting tremendously. And also background, you want to make sure that you have an educational background as much as possible. And so I have changed my background so many times, and finally this is what it's going to be because I'm tearing up the walls of my new house. So anyways, but lighting is very important, and they will call you out. That's a big deal to them because, I mean, you don't want to, big shadow over your mouth and they can't, see what you're saying and things like that. So I think that is all of my tips, but if I forget something, I don't know, just message me. But all right, I hope you guys apply, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me.